Hello and welcome to Fur, Fins, and Feathers. Our guest today is Jeff Botelho, a well-known fancier, border collie fancier who works in agility and does many other performance activities. Welcome, Jeff.
Thanks so much, Brian.
Jeff, you are from Fairhaven, Mass.
Fairhaven, Mass, yep.
And today, who did you bring?
I brought my Border Collie Matrix.
How old is Matrix?
Matrix is 4 years old. He'll be 5 in May.
And what's the distinction of Matrix's distinction? He's earned some titles recently.
Yeah. 2018 was a big year for Team Matrix, so to speak. We competed in the American Kennel Club Nationals in Reno, Nevada in March of 2018 and came in third. And then we tried out for the United States World Team in May out in Minnesota, and we made that team.
And where did you compete this year?
And making the United States team in May allowed us to compete for the World Agility Championships, the WAC, or Agility World Championships in Sweden, Kristianstad, Sweden.
Wow.
Yes.
Jeff, tell us about the Border Collie. How did you get involved in the breed?
Okay, so the Border Collies, as a lot of people know, are very intelligent and have a very high work drive. So they beg to find a job and they beg to work, and when they find their job, they work really hard at it. They have a high work ethic, and pretty much it's up to me to tell them when to stop. So when I knew they had a lot of work ethic and they were very intelligent, that's what sort of attracted me to the breed.
Now you have another one. You have another Border Collie.
I also have another one. I have an older, my older Border Collie is Jet, and he'll be, in 2 weeks, he'll be 11. And
wow.
I just retired him from competition in November of last year. So he competed from the time he was 2 years old, just to about 11. So about 8 or 9 years in agility.
What got you involved with the breed? How did you learn about the breed?
So I learned about the breed just through reading books and talking to people about the Border Collies. And I'm pretty active, and I live in Fairhaven near the bike path. So I said, gee, if I get a Border Collie, I think I can keep him plenty busy and give him a job. And when I thought he didn't have a job anymore, that's when we got involved in agility.
Now you train with Terry Arnold.
Correct. We train at Terry Arnold's place.
And she's in East Freetown?
East Freetown, Mass. Her school is called Steppin' Up Dog Training School, and we've been there since January of 2010.
What does it take to train a Border Collie?
A lot of treats. A lot of treats. A lot of the Border Collies like to play tug. So their reward often is a combination of playing tug with a toy or getting plenty of treats. And just like anything else, you start at the very, very basics of walking over a jump that's on the floor and walking between two stanchions that make up a jump, and then and you progress it to running full speed. But it starts very simple and very slow at first.
Matrix went to Sweden and did very well.
Yeah, we went to the Agility World Championships in the beginning of October last year in Kristianstad, Sweden. And we competed against 38 or 39 other countries that were there, all representing with different variety of dogs.
Were a lot of them Border Collies?
The majority of the large dogs, Matrix is considered a large dog, and the majority of large dogs were made up of Border Collies, Belgian Malinois, Australian Shepherds, and I believe there was 1 or 2 golden retrievers as well.
And they came from all over the world.
All over the world. Lie down, lie down, lie down. Quiet, quiet. He's watching himself. He's watching his video of himself.
He's
running.
watching himself on TV.
Lie down, quiet. Quiet. So, I'm sorry. What did you say, bro?
Do we have a clip on
So
the screen here?
So the
Tell us what this is.
So the clip on the screen right now is showing us at the agility tryouts for the world team, which was in Minnesota. This is our first run of the weekend. And lie down. This is our first run of the weekend, and you get quiet. We finished 3rd in that run. Quiet. We finished 3rd in that run.
He's having fun.
We finished 3rd in that run, and that was one of 5 runs that we got during that competition weekend. And it's just like trying out for the Olympics. You have 5 runs, and you compete against several other dogs. And
it's highly competitive.
Of course, he loves to enjoy watching himself run. It's highly competitive. There were about 80 dogs that I had, 70 to 80 other dogs that we had to compete against. And the clip that you saw was one of 5 runs that we had. And at the end of the weekend, they compiled the combination of the 5 runs, and the top 3 dogs win their spot on the team. And we were lucky enough after the 5th run, we were lucky enough to be in 2nd place, and that won our spot on the team.
And you traveled to Sweden.
And that allowed us to go to a team practice in Pittsburgh. It allowed us to go to a team practice out in Portland, Oregon, and then it allowed us to go to the World Championships in Sweden. Quiet.
And you got to you brought your family.
And my family was lucky enough to enjoy coming with us as well. My wife, my mom and dad, and my sister-in-law and brother-in-law all came for the trip. All enjoyed themselves. I think enjoyed themselves a little bit more than I did. They at least got to vacation and travel a little bit, where we were more stuck with the team and all of the events related to the World Championships.
Matrix is quite the world traveler. He's scheduled for another trip, isn't he?
That's correct.
Tell us about that.
So we got back from Sweden in October, and the American Kennel Club sponsors another United States team, a second United States team, that's called the European Open team. And that team, again, you try out for that team just like you try out for the world team. And the top 8 dogs in the large dog category win their way on the team. And we were lucky enough to come in 2nd in one of our runs there. And that allows us to be on Team USA competing in the European Open this coming July in the Netherlands. So Matrix is allowing me to be quite the world traveler.
He is quite a handsome dog.
Yes. He's very handsome, and he tries really
So
hard.
he is considered to be one of the top obedience dogs. And is it the world or the not?
I would say in the country, in the United States, he's considered to be one of the top agility competitors in the country. Obedience is a little bit different, a little bit.
Okay, so
competition obedience.
He's
is a
in
little
obedience.
Different.
He's in agility.
Correct.
Rather.
So we do only competition agility, and we do not do competition obedience, which is what Terry Arnold also used to do.
Okay.
The combination of obedience and agility.
This is very, very interesting. How do you keep him active, and how do you train him?
So we train about 3 days a week, sometimes 4 days a week, and funny enough, we don't train very long. We train about a half hour, maybe to 40 minutes.
Do you train in the backyard?
Total. We train usually at the facility over in Freetown, but I do have a combination of jumps and tunnels and tires and so forth in our yard that we can practice with on a weekly basis. But we typically practice about 3 or 4 times a week. But a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment, and a lot of dependability that your Matrix and your dog stay healthy.
And how do you keep him healthy?
Well, I think it's a combination of trying to train in the right.
What do you feed him?
We train in the right manner, and we feed Matrix all organic kibble. He has organic kibble and organic wet food, a combination of wellness kibble and Avenger. Give a little plug for them. Wet food. We supplement with Cosequin, which is a joint and muscle supplement for the dogs. And of course, we keep up with our vet checks every year. Matrix is also on a physical therapy regimen as well.
Okay.
So we go once every couple of weeks, and we get massage, and we get
He has a better life than we do.
water treadmill, and he gets cold laser therapy, and thanks to our friends at Northborough Canine Rehab Facility and Suzanne Russell, she takes good care of Matrix and all the dogs there.
What is his longevity? What is the longevity for a Border Collie?
Well, the Border Collies traditionally are a pretty long-living dog. Most Border Collies that I've known in the time that I've been doing agility have made 12, 13, 14 years old. And I believe Terry has one now that's 15, almost 16 years old now. So I think anywhere between 13 and 15 to 16 years old is the longevity.
Are you
of the
planning
Border
to let
Collie.
him retire at some point?
So Jet is going to turn 11 in 2 weeks, and I retired him a few months ago. If Matrix can stay healthy enough, I'd like to hopefully work him until he's about 8 or 9, and I think that would be, maybe 9 years old would be great, and that would be hopefully time for a healthy retirement, and maybe Matrix would have a little brother or a little sister by then that would be willing to take over his agility reins at that point. So. It takes about 2 years to get a dog ready to compete in agility.
How does one find a good, healthy, sound Border Collie?
There's a lot of breeders out there all over the country. There are breeders of all dogs. And it really depends what you're looking for. So there are breeders that breed the Border Collies for performance. There's breeders that build them for breed them for breed, which are smaller and stockier traditionally, and there's some that are bred for herding. So I think you do your research, and the lines that Matrix comes from, his breeder is from performance lines. So his pedigree is from high performance Border Collies, a little bit taller, a little bit more lanky, which requires or allows him to turn and twist a little bit easier, and allows him to go from 0 to full speed in a very short period of time.
But it takes a lot of work on your part as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of commitment between the handler or the owner. Not every owner is the handler of the dog, but it takes a lot of dedication and commitment from owner and dog, handler and dog alike. And I think it's something that it's work that the Border Collies really enjoy. So I call it work for him, but I don't think he really thinks of it as work. I think he thinks of it as play. And when he gets his tug and he gets his treats, that's his reward to really, really try hard and work harder in the agility.
I watched a trial of him in Sweden, and he really took off.
Yeah, when you watch the agility competition and the sequence of jumps, you can measure that with a wheel, and they often do in an American Kennel Club. They measure it with a yardage wheel. So when you measure the line of the dog through the obstacles, you end up with a total yardage. So if you divide that yardage by his electronic time, you can come up with how fast he was moving in yards per second. And on a traditional course, Matrix can move anywhere from about 4 to 7 yards per second.
He really just takes off.
So
You never let him out of the yard, do you?
So his handler, being a little older and slower, needs to create and provide a lot of information for Matrix in a very fast and short amount of time so that we can get it right.
Does he ever sleep?
He sleeps. Matrix is a very intense Border Collie, and I say that he's intense when he sleeps. So yeah, but he does sleep. He does sleep, and we do get plenty of rest and downtime, even though he's a hard worker.
What are some other activities that boarders can get involved in?
Border Collies are bred, are typically bred for herding. Herding sheep, herding cattle, herding ducks.
I watched some 30 years ago when I was in Ireland at my uncle's farm. I watched the Border Collies go out in the field with I called him a shepherd, but it was a herdsman, and he went up in the field, rounded up the sheep, and brought them down. And I mean, with like clockwork.
It is amazing to watch those dogs work and herd those sheep or herd the cattle with the way they do and in the efficiency that they do. It's brilliant to watch. There's a lot of YouTube videos of the herder, the Border Collies herding sheep. I believe there's even one herding sheep at night with the light bulbs on the sheep. So all you see is the light bulbs running through the field and the Border Collie getting them to herd them into the pen.
It was an incredible sight. My uncle now is almost 90, and the people that work for him go out and do it, of course.
Yep.
But I remember 30 years ago, he said to me, "I want you to come out into the field." And we sat on the, in the porch, and he watched, and he was showing me how the sheep were herded, and it was an incredible sight.
Yes, yeah.
He told them when to go, and they rounded them up, and they moved them right down.
Oh yes, they are very efficient at their job. Those herding Border Collies, they get those dogs right in. They get those sheep right into that pen with very little difficulty. It seems like they know what they're doing, and they do.
Couple of nips, and they were back down the hill. Came right down and came in.
Yep, a couple of nips and a couple of pushes in the right direction, and they get them to go where they want.
So Border Collies are really an efficient breed.
Yes, they're really efficient, and they're very intelligent. And like I said, their work drive, I think, is what makes them even more intelligent. They're willing to work and work and work until they get it right, or until you shut them off and you tell them to lay down. And sometimes it's my job to tell them, okay, Matrix, it's been enough. It's time to rest now. But they're very loyal, they're very dedicated, and they're very biddable. They like to please their owner. So if
he's 4 years old?
Matrix is 4 years old. He'll be 5
Where
this
did he
May.
come from?
Matrix is from a kennel, a breeder and a kennel out in Oklahoma. I believe it's Westerville, Oklahoma, and it was the kennel is called Lockeye Border Collies, and if you know about herding, that's how they herd the sheep, is they lock eye on the sheep and try to direct them by their eyes and by their movement.
Did you travel out to Oklahoma to select him?
I did not. I got lucky with Matrix. I had the breeder select him. I contacted the breeder, Michelle, and told her what I was looking for, and explained that one day my goal would be possibly to try out for the United States World Team with my dog. And I was curious if she thought she might have the right dog. After about a 20-minute conversation on the phone with her for the first time, she said, "I think I might have the right dog for you here." And she sent Matrix along.
How old was he then?
He was only about 4 weeks old then, 5 weeks old then, when I got him. So she certainly knew at a very, very young age what kind of dog she had on her hands. at 4 and 5 weeks old. She certainly had an idea of what Matrix had in her.
Does she do a lot of performance activities in agility?
She in 2015, I believe she was the American Kennel Club Breeder of the Year for performance dogs, and for the most part, I believe it was all Border Collies. So I don't believe that Michelle herself competes, but she has a ton of Border Collies that have gone through her, that have come through her kennel, that have all competed in
and very successful
in agility and obedience and fly ball and disc, and very successful.
Does Matrix do anything else? Does fly ball or anything?
No, we only do competition agility, and that keeps us plenty busy. That keeps us plenty busy, and I try not to do too much more with him, only so that we try to, control the amount of training, and hopefully he doesn't get hurt.
Do you know anything about duck diving?
The duck diving is quite
fascinating. I'm learning about that.
And in some areas of the country, it's much more popular than it is here. It's just starting to become popular here. In, I would say, most of the newer indoor dog facilities not only have created agility fields, but have also created a pool for duck diving.
And they're developing a couple of facilities in the Cape Cod area.
Yes, there's...
Are Border Collies used for or good for duck diving?
They are. The dock diving tends to... the Border Collies can be good because they can go from 0 to high speed very fast, and the platform into the pool is not very long.
This is a very versatile breed, though, isn't it?
It's a very versatile breed, and they can jump in high, and they can jump long. Typically, you see a lot of the retrievers in the pool. The golden retrievers, the Labradors, the Chessies. And a popular breed that's a very, very athletic breed for the dock diving has become the Belgian Malinois.
Really?
Belgian Malinois can be very tall and long, and again can go from 0 to 60 in a very short period of time.
I recently heard about someone with a poodle that had done dock diving.
Absolutely.
Because it's a water breed. Poodle's a water breed. It's a water breed. And they were doing very well.
Yep. And I've seen, and we've talked a lot about the Border Collies and some of the other breeds in agility, but I've seen from very small dogs to very large dogs, I've seen just about every dog do agility at some level. I've seen some dog from a Chihuahua and a Papillon all the way up to a Bernese Mountain Dog and a German Shepherd Dog and a Great Dane I've even seen do agility.
Where can people learn more about agility?
The AKC has a great website with all of their different companion events listed. And you can look up agility or obedience or rally or some of the different events that they have that are companion events with your dog. And often they would have, if you can Google your local area, a lot of times they will have different facilities and dog trainers that will offer not only agility but basic obedience. And now often you see dock diving offered as well.
So you are off to Holland next.
So yeah, actually before Holland, we're going to go back to the AKC Nationals this year.
And where is that?
So the AKC Nationals is coming up this March from the 15th to the 17th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we'll take him out to Tulsa, Oklahoma to defend his third place national placement last year. And we'll drive out to Tulsa in a few weeks and come back, and then all eyes will be on training for the European Open in the Netherlands in July.
So how do you get ready for that?
And that will be a series of competitions locally, regionally, that the AKC sponsors, and in combination with training, with Terry and over at Stepping Up, and the combination of competitions and training should get us well, and health hopefully will get us well prepared for the Netherlands in July.
How is he groomed?
Matrix,
what involves his grooming?
Yep, Matrix is groomed. Apparently, he just got groomed on my sweater here, but he gets groomed once every 3 to 4 weeks. We brush him out once a week, but he doesn't require a whole lot of attention. We brush him out maybe once a week. He gets groomed and trimmed maybe once a month, once every 5 weeks.
Do you do the trimming?
No, I take him to somebody. I take him to a good friend of ours who also does agility. And she does dog grooming professionally. So we take him to Jen. We saw her yesterday, and she brushed him out and groomed him yesterday. So he'd be ready for
his
today.
appearance
So he'd be ready for today. And but he doesn't require a lot of attention with grooming, such as some of the other breeds require a lot of attention with grooming.
You've had a lot of fun with him, haven't you?
Matrix is a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun. He loves other dogs. He loves people. He loves children.
Does he?
Loves children and little babies, which is kind of funny that a high drive, quirky kind of dog would love children and babies, but he does. He does.
Do you take him for a walk in the neighborhood?
Oh yeah, we walk in the neighborhood. We walk on the bike path in Fairhaven quite a bit.
Do people stop and admire him?
People ask me all the time what kind of dog. People ask me all the time what kind of dog.
Hello
is.
there.
People ask me all the time what
you
kind.
You are a handsome fellow.
What kind of dog is he? What does he do?
Okay.
Come on, mate. Get up.
That's all right.
Good boy. Good boy. They often ask his breed and what his name is, and if they can pet him. Of course, everybody asks if they can pet him, and typically he's in a good mood, and we allow everybody to pet him. But sometimes if he's just been watching himself do agility, we try to calm him down first. But the intelligence and the love that come from the Border Collies is quite amazing and quite unique. So
would you ever consider getting another breed?
So I think I'm stuck to a Border Collie. Yeah, I think I'm a Border Collie person, and I think I'm going to stick with the Border Collies. But it's funny, the people that choose their breed usually that's their breed. That's their breed.
Well, this Jeff has been wonderful with Matrix. We've enjoyed our afternoon with you, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you for our show today. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Brian.
We're done.
All right, mate. You did good.